like the integration between international students and home students in the JCR, and so we would like to amend it to change it to campaign and raising awareness on different cultures around the world and for issues that may affect international students, as well as running events specifically for international students and also for promoting the multicultural nature of us to all members.
Does anybody have any questions for Cindy? Does anyone have any amendments to Cindy's motion? Does anyone have any opposition to Cindy's motion? Can we pass this motion on a general aye?
Aye.
Nice. Right. Next one is motion to create an exchange student rep in the international community. Cindy's also talking on this one.
So we noticed that there was no representation for exchange students, and we figured that they have unique challenges that they face. We were concerns about that, and so we would like to create a role for exchange students representatives to better support these international students and to liaise with the Erasmus Student Network Durham, which is for exchange students in Durham, and to collaborate with events for that as well.
Does anybody have any questions on this motion? Anyone have any amendments to this motion? Anyone got any opposition to this motion? Can we pass this motion on a general aye?
Aye.
Right, and then finally from Cindy we have the motion to change the election time of the assistant international rep.
So lastly, the assistant international representative is currently running a meeting 3.2. We think that it should be running in 3.1 because the role of the international representative was moved up to 2.3, and so we would just want to move it from 3.2 to 3.1.
Anyone have any questions on this motion? Yes, Caitlin.
So, international rep and assistant international rep will run at the exact same time.
No, the international representative was moved from 2.3 to 2.3.
Yeah.
So we would just
Any other questions? Anyone got any amendments to this motion? Anyone got any opposition to this motion? Can we pass the motion on a general aye?
Aye.
Finally, we have Scarlett doing what's our motion. That's what we want is.
Oh, great. So I would like to start a society called Brooks Bar Society. We don't currently have one. It would be good to put on events and stuff at Brooks, like pub quizzes, open mics, bingo, paint and sips, theme nights, whatever else everybody can think of. The idea is that everybody can get involved. You don't have to work in the bar to be involved in society, so everybody can be involved and run events and stuff. And it means good for the bar and good for everybody to go to these events.
The bar officer assumes the role as president of the society. Does anybody have any questions? Yes, Gabriel.
Is this sort of just that students who don't work with bar help out with running events at
Yeah.
Brooks Bar?
Any other questions? Yes.
Does it, I think this is probably more for you than Scarlett, but does it cause problems with, for example, if there's someone who worked on the bar who didn't pay the JCR levy and wasn't a JCR member? Because that engagement would then hypothetically be levigated. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah, but I think the people that are getting involved, like the people that are putting on the events, are the JCR levy members, but they like who are actually working might not necessarily be in the society. It's only if you're a bar officer you'd be in the society, and to run for bar officer you have to be a JCR member. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Why can't you just do it without a society?
I mean, we're currently doing that, and it's just a lot of work for me, having to do everything. It's quite exhausting, running the pub quiz every week, and thinking of new questions. And I want to do things like paint and sips, but like to get the art supplies, it's kind of like I have to fund it, and I also have to fund the pub quiz myself because I can't get it from the bar. So like this would allow for that.
So would you charge subs or anything like that?
I'm not sure how all of it works yet.
Yeah.
I was hoping to chat to you about that.
Any other questions? Any amendments to this motion? Any opposition to this motion? Can we pass this motion on general aye?
Aye.
Nice. Right, so that's my side done and dusted. We're gonna move on and do 2 elections, and then do a break, then raffle, and then do the rest of the elections. Only because we just had a break and they were quite quick. So, Gabriel.
Would apologise, Matt.
I didn't.
Guys, we are going to run some elections.
Guys, please be quiet.
We're switching things up to make the meeting run faster. We're going to run 2 elections now and then have a break. Sorry about the amount of elections today. If people had run for things in earlier meetings, they wouldn't all be today. That's how it works, unfortunately. We're going to have outreach chair first. We have 2 candidates first run for that, Molly and Olivia. So could they both please come up? Just alphabetical reasons, Molly will be going first. Yeah, you can go outside the desk first, whatever. 3-minute hus, then some questions. Because of the length of the meeting today, can we keep it to like serious questions, please? Because I don't want to be here till like 7 p.m. Thank you. I'll knock it like 7 seconds. And then again at 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hey everyone, I'm Molly, a second year NATSI student, wanted to be your next outreach chair. CUTS has a great reputation amongst colleges and known for our supportive community. We plays a huge part in this through our fundraising events and volunteering opportunities, which not only help the Durham community, but also bring students together. I would love to continue in this and bring in new ideas. So first of all, well, I'm a member of CUTS bar staff, and therefore not only do I pull some fantastic pints, I also have a great connection with the rest of the staff. This will come in very handy when planning fundraising events such as raffles and bake sales, as I'll have the inside scoop on the best days to hold events, as well as what is appropriate in the bar setting. Also, I would love to bring more fundraising events into Brooks Bar, as Scarlett was actually just mentioning, such as paint and open mic nights. We're very privileged to have 2 college bars, and I'll be keen to plan events that raise money for meaningful charities whilst also helping Brooks Bar run. I'll bring in more volunteering opportunities to help the CUT environment, as well as local areas with the mission. For example, making bird boxes and feeders, and of course continuing our litter picks will not only enhance our local environment, but also help well-being. I'm well equipped in organising a group of people, evident in my Wildcats captaincy this year gone. Despite major and booking issues, I'll still organise and resilient enough to complete the routine for the competition. This organisation is something I'll extend to outreach, where I'll continue with the early promotion of the 12 days of outreach to ensure engagement. Also, to increase outreach's presence in CUTS, I propose asking each sports and SOC to choose a charity that they'd like to raise money for and work with them to promote and plan their event. This will increase engagement with outreach and be a great way to get people involved with fundraising opportunities. This has been a huge success in Wildcats with our annual charity showcase, and I'd love to extend this to other sports and SOCs. To ensure we focus on charities that are meaningful to the people of CUTS, I'll release forms to get ideas for which charities mean the most to people. For example, Arthur Rank is a charity that is close to my heart, and I'll be interested in going to events that focus on this charity. Focusing on a charity every month would ensure a wide scope of interest could be met, and I would also, of course, like to get involved with local organisations. Please consider me for your next outreach chair, and I won't let you down. Thank you.
It's time for some individual questions based on the content of the speech, and then Molly's manifesto and poster or whatever, which are on the JCR officers group chat, if anyone wants to look at it. So, and we've got questions. Any questions? No questions? Cool. We will switch so that Olivia can do her host, and then there'll be some general questions afterwards.
You're all good?
3 minutes. I'll knock it 2 minutes, 30 seconds, and then again in 3 minutes. That doesn't matter. Give it stuff. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Hello, my name is Olivia and I'm running for Outreach Chair today. I'm a first year PP student from Devon, and I'm running because I think I've got some really good ideas for the role, and also because I enjoy helping people. I believe I have a lot of personal attributes that make me good at this role. I'm very hardworking and do things to a very high standard. I believe this is evidenced by the fact I represented England in ballet and musical theatre at the Dance World Cup and won gold. I've also achieved various academic awards, and I'm extremely organised and good at managing my time, and I think I'm kind and approachable and just nice, hopefully. And also I'm good at budgeting, I enjoy it. Moving on, I've engaged with volunteering and campaigning for a very long time. I was selected to build a campaign that prevented image-based sexual harassment at schools, and I was chosen to work on a campaign to prevent sexual harassment across schools in Plymouth. I've also consistently campaigned for feminist causes. When Roe v. Wade was overturned, I led an assembly in front of my sixth form on the consequences that would have. More importantly, I've been an active member of Outreach this year. I've done lots of stuff with Outreach. For example, I made a fabulous pub quiz, which I really enjoyed. And I've also done help with Take Me Out, the posters for that, and 12 days of Outreach. Furthermore, I was a house captain during sixth form and was responsible for organising the sports day for the lower school. So I can organise and lead a team quite well, I think. If I was to become Outreach chair, I would continue the fabulous work of Evie with 12 days of Outreach pub quizzes and litter picking. I would also help organise banks to donate food and clothes at the end of the term, and would do more pub quizzes. Because I've been a member of Outreach this year, I know what works and what doesn't work. So this year we found it really tricky getting people to attend specifically outreach events. Therefore, I would plan to utilise the amazing community we have at CUS already to get more engagement through the societies and stuff, and do fundraising events through that. I also have a good relationship with many of the exec for next year, so I think I'll be able to easily organise fundraising, charity matches and the like. In regard to volunteering, I would post information on the Outreach social media about the amazing opportunities we already have here in Durham, and I would aim to do the summer of income freshers to encourage people to be volunteering with animals, because that would be really fun, and we could do that with welfare. So in conclusion, I really believe that if I was elected as outreach chair, I would be able to have a positive impact on the wider community in CUS, while simultaneously encouraging and facilitating volunteering, fundraising and outreach to help others. Thank you very much, and please read my manifesto.
Cool, so we have time for any targeted questions. So, do we have any? No targeted questions? Cool, we'll get Molly back in here, and then any sort of questions about the role. Reminded from GovCom, in contents of us or answers to questions, you're not allowed to name any other people who are in positions in JCR roles, so you can't, you have to use the name of their title of their role or whatever. Just to,
Yes, sorry. Outreach chair.
Yeah. It's up to 5 non-targeted questions. We'll start in alphabetical order, reversing each time with answering. So, do we have any questions?
Just around big events like 12 days outreach, it's a lot when you're running it, so you want to make sure you don't take on too much. Do you have any ideas how you make sure it's not an overload during this time?
Well, I definitely delegate tasks between different members of the outreach committee. I feel like I'm pretty on top of things. I'm quite organised. Sometimes I hand summatives in a week in advance, which is, I would say, pretty organised. So yeah, I think I would for sure it's just about delegating tasks, making sure that people have an even amount of work to do.
I would do all of that and the team quite well and have designated roles. Also, I didn't mention it in the speech, but at the beginning of every month I plan to publish on the outreach social media the calendar of the events, with exactly what's happening when, and this will give us a good chance to kind of organise ourselves effectively and also get stuff done to a very high standard, and we have a lot of time to plan stuff really well.
Any other questions?
I think it's one to note that the year's Can't Take Me Out hasn't happened for various reasons. What do you intend on doing next year to make it happen? Because I think it would be a good event, and there was quite a lot of sign-ups this year, it just didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you intend on doing to make it happen next year?
I think planning it at a different time in the year. I think now we planned it for like this term, and I think with everyone like leaving to go home and such, and then also maybe as like doing, I think outreach events like by themselves are quite tricky because not many people are that enthusiastic. But when you like take advantage of the community we already have, we could do it with sports teams, kind of get like a rugby, football, like so then people want to come and see their friends and that's how they get involved.
Well, yeah, like I said in my speech, I definitely want to get involved, like collaborate with more sports and societies. So I think that, like as Olivia said, like I would love to like try and get the football guys to come, get the rugby guys, or just like get it pushed out into society. So I feel like outreach isn't like something that's widely known in Cards, I wouldn't say. So I think by collaborating with like different societies, it would help get the word out there better.
Any more questions, please?
How would you ensure that the fundraisers that welfare sometimes put on during their campaigns don't clash with the outreach events? I think that contributes to having up to your events and having people turn up to welfare events. So how would you kind of manage that?
Well, I guess obviously welfare have a lot of stuff going on in November, so I feel like probably avoid November, like otherwise it's just an overload of events and people won't be able to get to everything. So yeah, it's obviously just good communication, asking what they're planning on doing and then planning around it, like maybe just meeting regularly with, or like every so often with welfare to see what they've got planned.
I think communication and just planning it in advance. So I think if I was to have the role, I'd like to plan events quite far in advance, so then we communicate when like the time takes, then there isn't any event at similar times.
We're all allowed up to 2 more questions if we have any. So cool. That seems to be all. Thank you both for your hosts and answering questions. Feel free to sit back down now. We are going to run one more election before we have a break in our actions. We'll run the other eligible people running in it as student trustee. We have 2 candidates plus our own student trustee. There are also 2 student trustee positions available. So, Caleb and Seth, please. Caleb's figured out alphabetical order already. Cool. You know how this works.
Yeah. Hi everyone, my name's Saf. You've probably already heard from me, so I'll keep this short. I want to be a trustee because I'm currently one already, because when you are treasurer, you are automatically a trustee, obviously because you're in charge of finances. But I just want to be a bit more of a laid back one. I'm going on my year abroad, so I just want to have something to do whilst I'm gallivanting about. And I feel like I'll have a fresh perspective from someone who won't be like submersed in the JCR environment. I can look at things from a different point of view. I really want to learn. I mostly want to learn just a bit more about all of the new trustees, because like what has been previously said, a lot of the trustees are finishing their term, and I've really enjoyed getting to know all of them this year, and getting to know their professions, and like teaching us basically about all about what they do. And so I just want to learn about something other than the finances, because they get a bit boring. I've loved pimping out my LinkedIn with the trustees this year, and I just want to get to know all of the new people. There's some really cool people that have just been put onto the board, and yeah, I just want to get to know them.
So, any targeted questions about the content of SAS Hust or the manifesto? No, cool. We'll switch in that case. great.
The chill one.
I just
Yeah, let's have a little bit of the year of the room.
James. Guys.
Hello! I've not prepared a host. I barely prepared a manifesto, but I do want to do this, and I really do want to do this. So I'm going to read off what I have on my screen, and I'm going to rant for a bit, and hopefully it'll all go okay. But hi, my name's Caleb. I'm the current vice president of CUTS, and as part of that responsibility, I'm part of the board of trustees already, but as the secretary. So I've seen firsthand what they do, the forward thinking and importance of the trustees, but equally I feel I can provide a keen awareness of the student experience and vocalise student concerns. I mean, the external board is very different now of trustees. We just expected a lot of new ones. I think it is important that we have a sense of contingency. And as well as that, we do face issues on the trustee board sometimes where trustees just think university was like it was 20 years ago. And it's nice to have people there to remind them that it isn't. And in a time where the university has drastic financial changes, it's important we have an understanding of how that affects our JCR and how we approach our expenditure. With experience in every committee the JCR currently operates, I would like to propose possible future revenue streams and evaluate current ones, as well as working with consultation to look towards the next 10 years of JCR. And that's kind of like standard practice at this point, but we haven't done it. For some reason, we haven't got a consultant in to look at our business and be like, or well, our business organization, be like, what does the next 10 years look like? What is our future plan? Ahead of that, it's been a lot of like, okay, what do we do now? I'm not about that. I don't think we should be doing that much more. The JCR should be an approachable and comfortable environment for all students. And my experience relating to EDIs as acting communities chair has built relationships to help ensure this throughout college. I'd be interested in starting a longer dialogue about our internal approach to such initiatives. Now, on to my rant. I've got a minute left. Right. Whenever Dan was talking earlier in the presidential report, he said a lot of things that almost too much, but a few of them I'd like to go through. In terms of like the UCU and everything that's going to happen next year, the same budget cuts are expected next year. How they operate next year is going to be incredibly different. They're going to focus more on academic staff. It's going to have more of an academic effect. JCR is currently not treated as an academic organisation, as Dan highlighted earlier, with like concerns being around whether or not he has academic say. I think we do. I think it affects students. I think it needs to be at our forefront. I think we need to continue with the compliance grievance attitude. I think we need to strengthen our beliefs as an organisation and really have the backbone of what we stand for, because we say it a lot. We say it almost too much without really having the words there to back it up, or at least it on paper in constitution. Look, I hope everybody has a wonderful summer term. I want to do this because I appreciate CUTS JCR. It's done a lot for me, and I would like to give back. Thank you very much.
Any target questions? No, wonderful. You're all making this go very quickly. You can get Saf back in, please. We'll have any. We'll have. Do we have any non-targeted questions? Like just general ones? No? Oh, we do. One.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. Saf first. Okay, then. Cool.
So, with both of you already being a trustee to some extent, how would you kind of adapt to the super trustee role with it being so different? So right now you have like separate focuses like finance or minuting, etc. How would you kind of take yourself out of that specific role that you currently have and put it into like a totally different one but still within the trustees? Sorry, that was long.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I'm, like I said, I feel like I'm a bit addicted to money now. I want to find something else. One of them is a lawyer, and I'm really interested in that. So I feel like because I'm interested in these different things, I don't think it'll be hard for me to separate myself from it.
I currently can't speak in trustee meetings, and it's the most frustrating thing in the world. I don't know if anybody can tell. I don't like not talking, and I have to sit there for an hour and a half. and look at my laptop screen and keep my mouth shut and say nothing. So it would be very different if I was student trustee, and I think I'm very interested in strategic planning and forward thinking that I propose for, and I'd like to implement those. Actually, get to have my say.
Any more questions? Yes.
The student trustees traditionally take on kind of additional roles on the board. So like this year I took on vice chair, there's nomination chair example, for example. Would you be willing to kind of take on any of those on, and specifically like what would you do with kind of the role you would want to take on?
Well, I think this year's been really interesting because we kind of got to see the importance of some of those roles. I think the length of time that it took us to get new trustees was definitely involved in the nominations chair and things like that. I would be super down for it. Honestly, I think being a student trustee is not a massive commitment. I'm doing it because I think I'd be good at it, but it is only once a term, so I would be very happy to take on that role of vice chair. I mean, I'm already minuting those meetings. I don't think I can get much tougher.
And I'd want to be nominations chair, so that works perfectly.
Hey!
Because you get to interview the president and the incoming treasurer and any trustees. You just get to interview them. I just feel it's fun.
Sorry.
Any more questions?
So obviously joining you guys will be the incoming exec trustee. With you guys obviously having experience in the role, how will you accommodate to someone new who's going to step up to it and wouldn't have been a trustee before, and make them feel comfortable working alongside you guys?
Well, I think it depends on what they want to do. If they want to do vice chair, for example, the previous vice chair has a good handover now, I hope. And so I think obviously with the handover they should be fine, but we kind of know the incoming exec, like we are friends with them, like, so I just think that they could come to us and ask us about any questions
Yeah.
they may have.
Yeah, I really hope. I mean, I think it's a really great way to. I think the exec trustee is a brilliant position, brilliant role. It's the one I wanted, but I'm not allowed to be exec trustee because I'm VP. Just to add fire to the flames. But I think what you're saying is really interesting. I think what is really useful and important about that role and really cool about the exec that we have next year is because they will come at it with a different experience. They'll come at it with a different mindset. We've come off a good year where things have worked quite well, and the trustees, some of the conversations we've had have been incredibly tough, but I feel like we've walked away from it, we've reflected a lot, and we've really this year done ourselves proud. So I think we can take that energy into next year with more people on the team. I can't see it ever being a bad thing.
I'm taking it that was the last question. Cool. Thank you both. After those two, I feel like we do need a bit of a break. So we'll take like a 10 or so minute break and then do the raffle, etc. So